And I'm Steve.
And this is Streaming Things, streaming The Last of Us. It's now the finale of season 2, which is strangely in the world we live in, only episode 7. And,
The last of Us?
For now.
For now.
So we're going to talk about what happened on Convergence in an overall way, and then scene by scene, play by play. And then we'll wrap it all up, as usual, with our Firefly moments, our top 3 favorite moments of the episode. Any kind of bullets and pills.
Pills, baby.
You know, Easter eggs, references to the game that are more overt, things like that we found throughout the episode. And then end it with our Outbreak performance, our favorite performance of this episode. We'll talk about maybe what we think is coming in the future without too many game spoilers or anything like that. You don't have to have played the games at all to listen to this episode. You just have to have watched all of season 2. But, you know, it gets a little dicey at some point in this. So I'm sure you'll see it all over the internet. It's not our fault. So we're just going to talk about things they may do, not specifically, but just like story structure wise in the future. So just be aware of that.
What it looks like they are doing.
Yeah.
Based off evidence in this episode.
In the text.
Yeah.
Also, I'm back.
Yay!
Kit is back from Europe. And I'm talking in the third person now. I learned that in Europe.
They do that there famously.
I still got a wallet full of euros. Don't know what to do with them.
Speak French to me, Daddy.
I missed you all. Steve and Andy and others held it down while I was over there at the Cannes International Film Festival, just kicking it with Tom Cruise and Kristen Stewart like I do.
No big deal.
But I told him, hey, I got to go back to the pod. Okay, K-Stu? So just fall back. I'm so grateful to have been on that journey. I've already recorded a kind of discussion of the things that I got to do while over there. We're going to drop that on Wednesday. Hump Day. It's a bunch of rambling nonsense about how much I hate British food for the most part. And I'm real sorry about that. But my initial thoughts returning to the studio are recorded, and you will hear those in a couple of days.
There are a bunch of great stories. If you love Kit's stories specifically, that episode is ripe with them.
I should have talked more about movies. Speaking of movies, if you're new to the show, you've been on this Last of Us journey with us, and maybe you don't know or you're not interested in, or there's all kinds of reasons that you're not hip to our Game of Thrones coverage and all that stuff that goes on the patreon.com/streaming things only side of this show. So you're thinking, I like these cats. What are we going to do now? We don't know. No, I'm just kidding. There's not a whole lot of big TV shows that we want to cover, because typically that's our bag, baby, is episode by episode kind of big TV shows. You know, we could talk about like Squid Game season 3 or something, but that seems kind of fucking random. So we thought we would journey into the world of blockbuster film.
Cinema.
Scorsese, big fan of the show. He's hyped for this. We're going to just cover week to week big movie releases for a couple of months until Alien Earth, most likely. There is another August option that at this moment I can't recall.
Peacemaker
season 2, which I don't think is our style as much as I love that show. But we're open to suggestions at streamingthingspod@gmail.com. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about F1 and Ballerina, shit like that.
28 years later.
Yeah. And
How to Train Your Dragon remake.
Maybe I can get Mr. Boyle on the show. Who knows?
Ask Dan.
Dan.
Yeah, Dan. What's up?
Danny?
Now that I got you here. And then July's huge. Of course, we got Superman and Fantastic Four and
Jurassic World Rebirth.
Oh boy. But anyway, that's what's ahead. So we've got a lot to talk about, though, with the finale. Spoilers ahead. If you have not seen the finale, you don't want to listen to really any of this, but we're going to give our overall thoughts first. Andy, I'm very curious. Both of you played the second game multiple times. I've merely dabbled.
I just finished it last night.
Really? You finally finished it? I thought you were just kind of keeping pace with the show. So,
well, I was,
and you got sucked in.
But it's a great game.
Yeah.
and also, I've been playing with Erica because she wants to see what the story is like, because she's only seen the show. And we finished this episode, and she was like, "Well, now I want to finish the story of the game." I'm like, guess we're staying up till 4 a.m., babe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's what we did.
Nice. So, Andy, what did you think about the finale?
Okay, so I think that this is a very good episode with great performances, but an underwhelming finale. I think that I understand the structure that they're doing and why they are focusing entirely on this this half of the story. But I think that we, as viewer, it's hard to separate the gamer from the TV viewer, because as the gamer, I know what's going on. I know who these people are, and I'm invested. As a viewer, I'm like, who the fuck is Isaac? I've seen this dude for about 5 minutes, maybe total on screen. What's he doing on a boat? Mm-hmm. He's just poking around. There was a big explosion. What's going on back there? And there's just so many seeds that are planted that do not flower in this episode at all. And so as a viewer, I'm like, this feels like a midpoint of a much, much larger season. And I don't know if I agree with the choice that they made with the structure and scope of this season. That said, I think that this episode had some of the best performances, some of the best sequences that the series has had overall. And I loved the payoff for Ellie making her way to the aquarium. I thought that was great. I thought that young Mazzino was doing phenomenal work as Jesse throughout this episode. I think that...
Is Jesse your favorite character, or is that you, Kit?
I was just joking.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Jesse's great, but that was just a joke. Like, he's my favorite character. I hope he's okay.
I took you at face value 100%. Like, oh no, my guy.
So I do also think that there were a couple of sequences that felt unnecessary in this episode. We have just a random boat crash, and little side adventure, and then we just hop right back on the boat. And I'm like, I don't know if we needed that.
That was so fucking ridiculous.
We did not need that. I have in my note, like in my overall thoughts, this is the most maddeningly unnecessary diversion in the history of TV shows ever. It was so bonkers that they did that.
I think they only, I'm sorry to hop in.
You're good.
I think they only did that, what Andy's alluding to explain it in season 3.
Yeah.
Which is fucking wild, because that's going to be a year from now.
Yeah.
The village. You know what I mean? Like, all that's going to make sense later.
To me, it was like, yes, I think that's what they're doing. They're trying to be like, there's a village, the Seraphites are on an island, but like, that's already been established. Like, this feels so much like they don't trust the audience into like knowing, oh, there's an island that the Seraphites are on, and they're like, I know.
I don't even know if it's that they don't trust the audience, and they're, because as somebody who's played the game, I've actually played it, but only once. I'm still like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? So a casual viewer, I mean, there's no fucking way.
Maybe, but like, I know Isaac they've talked specifically about the island that they're going to. This is the island. We're going to hit the island. Like, they've established
We got to go back.
And then this is something that doesn't happen in the game. Like, Ellie doesn't go on the island like that in the game. And so it just reads to me like we just need to have this point to remind people that they're there, and to have Ellie in this situation, but it feels so rushed and unnecessary, and it breaks the tension of getting on the boat and going to the thing. And it would be great if they swept her away. She's on the island now, and now we're just changing shit, and that would be okay. I'd be fine with that. Totally. But the fact that they're like, okay, well, now that's done, let's get back to our regularly scheduled programming. It was just fucking wild. And I watched the behind the episode, and Neil Druckmann was saying specifically, like, in the game originally we had the sequence where Ellie does go on the island, but that was cut. And I'm like, I can see why. They're like, we thought it'd be fun to go back to it.
You should have cut it again.
You should have cut it again, because it was unnecessary, and it really just stalls the momentum of the episode. I did like to see
that Ollie was a Seraphite now.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That little fucking kid. Get her, Mom. Like,
tell him, kid.
Zipper. Do the zipper move.
Yeah. So some silly stuff, but overall, good episode, not great finale is my thoughts on it.
So my overall thoughts mirror Andy's, I think, to a T. In fact, for the last couple of weeks, I know I've talked to Andy about this specifically. I think I've probably talked to you about it, Kit, but off camera, where I was saying, like, I'm really worried that they're going to end the show here at this moment. And they did. And the reason why I was worried, Andy, you talked about it a little bit, is like, yes, this point happens in the game. But the benefit of playing the game is you just keep going, and it's not a big deal. Well, it is a big deal because I know people who got to this point in the game and stopped playing the game because they were like, oh, now I got.
Oh, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want to see what Abby was doing on Seattle Day 1. I don't care anymore. And I know people who bounced out of the game at this point. So now I'm worried, and I've been worried this whole season that they were going to end it the exact same way for this season. And there are going to be viewers that are like, I don't care about Abby on Seattle Day 1. I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know because I've played the game that in several years, if they get a chance to do all 4 seasons that they want to do now, and they can complete the story in the big scheme of it, this won't matter because it feels like a middle of a season episode because it is a middle of a season technically thing.
Yeah.
It's like in a weird spot to end, but they are in a very odd spot. Like, how do you tell the story and end it in 7 episodes? You kind of have to.
You don't. You make it a 14 episode season.
Right. But I'm saying, like, I don't think Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann, I don't think 7 episodes is necessarily their choice. I think they're under pressure from the people who run Discovery Max now, who are like very adamant about these weird tiny seasons for whatever reason. And I think that's a part of it. But also to your point, Andy, I feel like they could have, they've done things where they thought strategically about what can we change about the show to make this story fit and work best in this medium of television rather than in the game. And they've done that pretty well, I think, pretty successfully for the most part. It's just interesting that we get to this point and it's like, well, you could, I feel like maybe if this was the wall you're backed up against, maybe change something. It's an unenviable position, and I don't really blame anyone involved. It's just the situation that they're made to work with. Because other than that, it's a good episode. It just has the unfortunate role of being the season finale for season 2 directly after Pedro Pascal's dead. So I feel like people who haven't played the game are watching this going, well, Daddy's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Now it ends like this. I think I might be out. I'm really worried that's going to happen. And it's unfortunate because, like you said, I think this is a good episode. I think the themes of community and how communities fight each other, and communities invite the idea of here is the other, and that kind of perpetuates this war. I think that's really cool that they're playing with. The parallels are happening between Ellie's story and Abby's story are starting to percolate in very interesting ways, and the performances are phenomenal. I think everyone is so good in this show. But yeah, I think it's like a 7 out of 10 episode, but like a 3 out of 10 season finale, if that makes sense. It's just unfortunate.
Oh, I did like I mean, I don't have anything intelligent to say. I think that pretty much expresses it succinctly. You know, Andy did a bang up job of that. It's unfortunate that this is the end of the season, but it was a really good episode. You know, in a perfect world, this would be a 13 episode season. They would shave a little down, and you know what I mean, tell the other side of the story and end it in a really epic way that would satisfy people. Or even if this was like a Netflix style and it was already filmed and we only had to wait like 2 months.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
I'd be so on board for that. Mm-hmm. But this being the end that we get potentially for 16 months is kind of infuriating, you know, and really sad for the show. I do think it's going to lose a lot of momentum in the fan spaces and stuff for people that aren't, because people that honestly, if you look online, everybody who loves the game fucking hates this show.
Yeah.
And so are the casual viewers gonna stick around after this? I don't know.
And there wasn't a single zombie, which like I understand where they are in the world, but to the casual viewer, I'm watching the zombie show on HBO and there wasn't one in the finale. And that's pretty crazy.
Well, it's the second finale where there wasn't a zombie, I think, right?
Really?
Because I think the last time we saw zombies in the first season was like 2 episodes before the finale.
Really?
It was like the Kansas City, here's the big bloater, and then we didn't really see
Sniper
anybody.
Tone?
Yeah, Sniper Tone's last hurrah.
I did my best. I did my best.
Well, to people who are just show watchers, who maybe watch this episode, the season finale, and they're like, man, I'm not super jazzed about how this season ends.
Stick around.
Please stick around. Like, it really is an amazing story.
Maybe.
Well, yeah.
We don't know how they're going to do it, but
Sure. They
Overall-
substitute Muppets for the rest of it.
what you're feeling right now is what everyone who's played the game felt when they got to this point in the game, but they were at the advantage where they could just keep playing, whereas you have to wait. And I think because so far, I think they've done a pretty good job adapting this show. I think that it'll be worth your faith in the creators to just, give them a chance to finish the story.
We talked about this a little yesterday. I don't know that they're experiencing the same level of anger and confusion that gamers had to experience because they've gone through a lot of pains to show you much more of Abby's side of things at this point in the show that they did not do in the game, right? Like, correct me if I'm remembering wrong, but when you get to Abby at this point of the game, you're still not fully clear that like her dad is the doctor and all that stuff, right?
Right.
So she just seems like a complete antagonist, asshole. And which is a really bold, brave thing to do that I think they intentionally didn't do in the show for a couple of reasons. Because of this season break plan and all this, like they had to structure it in a way like you'd be more on board with spending time with Abby. But also to kind of dumb it down, unfortunately. And like really express the themes that they're going for earlier for show watchers. And probably also to kind of protect Caitlin Dever. And I mean, they probably learned things from Laura Bailey's experience.
Yeah, Laura Bailey famously got harassed to no end when the game came out. And she's the one she plays Abby in the game.
Which is so weird. People are so weird.
I know, people are fucking weird. But
I do love in the macro what they're doing thematically with the show. It's very obviously a story about the toll that hatred and revenge takes on you. And they're trying to show you the different sides of things and how everybody's valid in attacking everyone else. And yet all we're doing is causing more pain, right? So you see that with Abby and Ellie, but you also see that with the Seraphites and the WLF. And you see that as well with this great conversation we have between Jesse and Ellie in this episode where his point of view is to protect his community. And he thinks he's such a good person for doing that. And then Ellie points out, well, you just let an innocent person die because he's not part of your community. He's an other. And that's what causes all of this bullshit, right? Which is really rich coming from Ellie and the places she's in, but also is not wrong. But yeah, I like that. And I think the boat thing too, and I don't like that. I'm saying I like the macro themes of this story. And like, you can see what they're trying to do symbolism wise and some of the dumb things that they do story pacing wise, if that makes sense. Like the boat, for instance, it's like, why the fuck did she just ride this boat in a storm and land on this island for a second and then get back on the boat? That's dumb. But it's really cool that we have the symbolism of Ellie lost in her rage and anger and hatred, lost in this storm, you know what I mean? Endangering herself and ending up somewhere she doesn't intend. You're right. Like it's all symbolism. It works well. Like if you look at it like an oil painting, like her on the little boat and the giant wave, it's like, oh, that's her riding the fucking wave of hatred. You know, and like that works as a visual metaphor, but it's dumb as like a story beat.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Exactly. Yeah. They got too caught up in showing you the theme instead of telling you the story.
So I would imagine that's like a little Craig Mazin action in there, and then Neil Druckmann trying to keep it on where the game goes. And then they kind of met in the middle, like, oh, they can remind them, and it just didn't work fully.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. But ultimately I went all that rambling and I started it with, Andy said it best. It's a really good episode. Terrible finale in that sense.
It's so funny that we're all like, pretty good episode, but let's all break down why it's problematic for the moment, moment specifically.
And there were some moments in this that were like, holy shit, like very profoundly impactful. And I see all these clips on like TikTok of like side by side of how it happened in the game and how it happened in the show. And it's just like, I feel like I'm watching a mass psychosis take place sometimes because I'm like, oh, wow, that's literally almost the same thing. I don't remember being that close. And then I opened the comments and it's like, see how they massacred my boy. Yeah. It's so stupid. She's not even scary like she's supposed to be. And like, I'm like, do we just watch the same fucking thing? I don't understand. Yeah. I don't understand.
Right.
What are you saying? Mm-hmm. Like the Jesse scene at the end is almost identical.
Oh, it's like shot for shot identical.
And everybody's like, ruined it. Yeah. And I'm like, what did you want?
They just literally put the game scene on there. They didn't even film that.
I mean, if they had animated it, it would have been slightly more close. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't understand those people.
But let's get into it. We'll do the scene by scene and see if anything else comes up. But first, a quick word from one of our sponsors. And we're back. It's time to talk about episode 7 of season 2, Convergence, which HBO Max, which is now again the name of that company.
We're back, baby.
Describes thusly. Amid the battle between Seattle's warring factions, Ellie's search draws her toward a devastating confrontation. Multiple.
It is devastating.
Devastating confrontations, I feel like. I do want to say, did you guys watch the previously on for funsies?
I think it did.
Yeah.
It was fucking awesome. It was like really well edited.
Oh, yeah.
Because, we'd had that.
When she's like hitting Nora.
Yeah, like
wham.
It ends with the red stuff. And I know. And like, I don't know. If you, after the episode 6 diversion of the flashbacks, it was like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. There was shit going on.
I forgot she was cray. It was just really well edited. And, it had some Isaac stuff. And I was like, oh, shit, I'm kind of.
Oh, yeah.
I knew all this, but I'm still hyped.
So hyped.
It starts out with Ellie. Kind of Ellie, but we hear like the walkie-talkie and we know that the WLF, I guess what I took from it is that they now know that there are people listening or could be. So it's them like going radio silent.
Radio silent.
Jimmy K going silent. Oh, Jimmy K. Shout out Jimmy K.
Jimmy K and Shauna.
Who the fuck is Jimmy K?
And Jesse's trying to help Dina with the arrow, but he can't pull it out without tearing an artery. And it's a really not comical, but kind of, because she's like, you don't fucking know about arteries? And he's like, yes, I fucking do. And like, if you were the guy with the arrow in the leg, you'd be like,
you're not a doctor.
Like if that was Andy, I'd be like, what do you know about arteries? Like,
and he's like, hold on, dude, I got some bourbon. Like,
no. Yeah, like that would be awful, dude. I got this, bro.
Drink it, kid.
Just cream it, dude. We got this. I mean, no. Go get Steve.
Steve knows about arteries.
Hey, buddy.
He'll just make me feel better about the whole situation.
How we doing?
Ooh, that's gonna hurt. But he says he's got to push it through. And it's like a metal arrow too. Like what do you do?
A crossbow bolt. It's
yeah,
gnarly. That's
like,
probably better than a wooden one, I imagine, because less splinters.
Well, yeah, but normally the move from watching movies, I know this, is to push it through and break it. But it's all metal. Like what's the move here?
Just push it through
all the way through, like feathers and all.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, dude.
I assume you can still break it, like get the head through and then snap it off.
Oh, like thin metal kind of wiggle it a bunch of times. That would suck. Almost got it, Dina. Fuck you. But she doesn't take the pain numbing alcohol because she's pregnant and he doesn't know this yet. So he's like, just drink it. And she's like, I said no. It's bad for the baby. Well, so is going into shock.
Yeah, like, so is this.
I'm an idiot. I'm like, why won't she drink it?
Really? She doesn't like that flavor?
That's nice hooch.
She's just so bad. I want to feel it go through.
Jesse, I know you just have pineapple rum in that flask. I don't fuck with pineapple rum.
Is it just Fireball?
It makes me puke every time.
I had a bad experience in college.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an OBGYN, but I think you can have a little bit of alcohol.
Yeah, that's not going to.
And I think the shock of your body going through this is equally bad for the baby.
Right. I feel like that's worse.
But her heart's in the right place. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they get through that. Ellie knocks on the door. She finally returns and she was out murdering Nora, or torturing her at least.
Oh boy, here I go murdering again.
They don't know where she's been. She knocks on the door. I thought this scene, I don't mean to be like Cinema Sensi, but I thought it was a little silly. It's very clearly Ellie.
Yeah.
It's her voice. She's the only one who knows where that place is. She's the only one that knows that they're in there. And he's like, what's the name of your horse? Like that seemed like a silly litmus test for someone who's clearly Ellie.
Look, Jesse always follows the
motherfucker.
rules.
What form does your Patronus take? It's a stag.
Liar!
Shimmer, let me in, cocksucker.
I'm just glad that we've got confirmation that Shimmer is alive and well.
Yeah.
I hope Shimmer is still in that record store having that free grass buffet.
Yeah.
I love Shimmer.
They did
Nice.
take time to update us on the status of the horse, which is I appreciate that. And Ellie looks for Dina immediately. Like, where's she at? Oh, she's in the dressing room. Okay, fuck you, Jesse. Let's go. She goes in to see Dina, checks her wound, and then Dina ends up kind of taking care of her. Ellie takes her shirt off. Her back is all fucked up and bruised.
Ellie also asks if the baby's okay.
She does.
I almost said, is the Dina okay?
Yeah. Is the Dina okay?
More important.
Dina says it is. She can just tell. A mother knows.
Dr. Vibes came in and let me know the baby is A-okay.
A mother knows. And Dina's like, are you going to tell me what happened? And she says, I found Nora. And she's like, oh, good. Cool. I tried to get her to tell me where Abby was. She just said whale and wheel, which in hindsight, you might have misheard, you know?
Wheel.
And then she's like, kind of, you know, she goes full PTSD and she's like, I made her talk. I may have done a light torture.
Mm-hmm. Just a light.
And
torture.
the most upsetting thing is it was easy. Mm-hmm. I thought it would be difficult. It wasn't.
Yeah.
The golf club was very light. It was a 9-iron.
Yeah.
It swung through the air. It was very aerodynamic.
Yep.
Found its mark.
In fact, I really liked the sound it made when it crushed her patella.
Yeah.
Quite nice. And she let Nora live. Well, quote unquote.
Sort of. Yeah. She said, I just left her there to be a monster.
So is there a Nora zombie down in the basement, just like blowing out the cordyceps vape smoke, just like just shambling around on the ground.
Very upset about Ellie, deep in her subconscious. Yeah, she left her there, and to be extra dick, didn't even put her out of her misery.
Maybe she didn't get what she deserved.
That's a great line, though. Maybe she got what she deserved. She's trying to support Ellie in this, you know? Like if Andy did a light torture and I was trying to make him feel better, I'd have been like, yeah, well, fuck them, you know?
They had it coming.
Wait, you did what?
And then Ellie's like, well, maybe she didn't. And she takes this opportunity to tell Dina what it is that Joel did, why these people are so upset. Mm-hmm. And Dina's like, well, did you know who they were? Because if you knew all this before you had me come out here to help you with your revenge, that's upsetting. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I didn't, but I did know what Joel did. Right. And Dina's mad about that. Like, we're on all this shit and everybody's got valid reasons for being pissed at Joel. God damn it, dude.
Yeah.
Jackson is so cool and we left for no reason.
Well, it's a good callback because I think a couple episodes ago, Dina told Ellie, like, hey, if I had a chance to kill the people who killed my mom and my sister, it doesn't matter what they did to upset them. Like, I'm going to kill them. But this news is so wild and crazy because it goes beyond vengeance.
Turns out it does matter.
It could have been right. This could have been a cure for everybody. And, you know, Joel was the cause of this. And I like how Dina sort of reacts the way Ellie reacts when finding out the news. Like, that's fucked up. Mm-hmm. But she comes around.
Dina's like, whoa. This affects me.
Oh, hold on. This was not a part of the deal.
Holy shit. And Dina's like, we need to go home. I'm off this mission. This is getting too nuanced.
I'm out.
And then it cuts to Seattle, day 3. What a rough 3 days. Can we acknowledge what a holiday weekend to remember?
But surprisingly, not the worst 3 days anyone's ever spent in Seattle.
Very true. R.I.P. Kurt Cobain.
I've seen Twilight.
That's Forks. Radio is still silent. Ellie's kind of checking it to see news what WLF is doing. They still haven't said anything. She asks to borrow some 9mm bullets from Jesse. He begrudgingly gives them to her. She's picking up the vibes and she's like, what's Jesse's problem?
I think Jesse's mad at me.
Yeah, what did he do? Dina comes limping out. She gives Ellie a bracelet for good luck. So it's kind of like an olive branch, if you will. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I don't think this bracelet's been giving you very much good luck, but I accept it.
I love that line.
I don't think it's been working very well.
Hey, I'm alive.
And Jesse and Ellie's plan is to go rendezvous with Tommy and leave Dina safely in the theater. And out on the walk, Jesse's upset that she refused the liquor. He's putting 2 and 2 together. He's like, I've never seen her turn down any drugs or alcohol in her life that were free. What the fuck is going on?
She's a moocher.
She's pregnant. And Ellie confirms that she's pregnant and then goes, shit, you were guessing?
Oh, man.
Classic move. You got to be ready for the guess.
Yep.
No.
Nuh-uh. I don't. That's weird. Shut up.
No.
It's like Saw Gerrera in the season finale of Andor, like, you don't know where I am. Lies. Deception.
I wish Saw Gerrera was for no reason in this show.
I wish Saw Gerrera was for no reason in every show.
If he was just leading the Seraphites, I would be so happy.
Ellie kicks down a door.
Feel my love.
Saw Gerrera's there. Have you come to kill me? Are we not friends?
I need to watch that show.
Yeah, sorry, Andy.
It's really good.
You've seen Rogue One, though. You get it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Feel Her Love, they see another one of those giant Seraphite murals, and there's like a different leader there, I think.
This is interesting.
Yeah, I'm confused.
I think I know what they're going for with this.
The new Pope.
Well, no, I think what they're going for this, because in the game, there's a lot of talk about how, the prophet's been dead for 10 years or so, for a while. So their teachings are being warped, much like religions often do. Like the original teachings start out pure and good, and then like other people start putting their own voices into it and warping it. And so I think this accentuates that people don't even really remember what she looked like. And it's just like artist depictions of like, the prophet, and they're putting themselves into the prophet character maybe, or they just have heard what the prophet looks like and they're interpreting it.
Jesus is white now.
Yeah, blonde hair, blue eyes.
Yeah, like Jesus is white now. Exactly.
Feel his love.
Ellie says there's more than one
Give it
of
10
her.
more years, Andy, and they'll get there.
And well, I thought the WLF caught up with Jesse and Ellie for a moment, but it's just them chasing another Seraphite, a scar as they call him. It's like a Seraphite slur. And so Ellie and Jesse hide, and Ellie wants to help because this is just like a teenager, and there's like 5 wolves attacking this kid, and Jesse prevents her from intervening, which is smart. I mean, what was Ellie going to do?
Yeah, and the leader of the WLF group is the dude that Isaac saved in the flashback scene a couple episodes ago.
Oh, is it that guy?
Like that's the dude that was like, oh, I saved you because you seem to be like a good person. And now we see like 10 or however many years later, like that person's morality has been warped so much by this.
Yeah, he was already outside the room when
Bitch got what she deserved.
Isaac was torturing.
Yeah.
And Jesse's like, this is not our war. We have to focus on our community, right? And this is a through line that their kind of argument centers on throughout this episode. What was Ellie going to do?
I don't know.
She was like going to get up right. Hey, quit that.
Yeah. Hey, can I speak to your manager?
I mean, Game Ellie might have been able to help.
Game Ellie, like when he's like, it's 2 against 6. What would we have done? Like Game Ellie would be like, okay, 1 against 12, whatever.
Yeah, I understand that's not fair. They need at least 20.
Yeah.
But I do. That's my biggest gripe with this whole season is the Ellie nerf. I hate it so much.
She should be wrecking house.
She's so incapable of doing anything. She keeps getting saved by men at every turn or Deus Ex Machina, and she's not able to actually do anything. And it makes her, it's not just that I want it to be cool and I want her to kill a bunch of people, because I do.
Mm-hmm.
It infantilizes her rage. And it makes it obviously stupid and silly that she's on this mission instead of something that she has to learn is fruitless, right? She's completely incapable of enacting her vengeance in the show. So of course she shouldn't be doing this. Whereas in the game, it's like, is it really worth all these people dying at your hand for you to, and you know what I mean? Like at this point, let her go. What's she going to do?
I think that
me. She's going to whine a little bit and lose her gun, and it's going to be over. It's like, let her go.
I hear you and I agree with you. I will say that it does kind of add more weight to the danger that she's putting her friends in, and like the myopic viewpoint that she has, and her, tunnel vision on her revenge is putting everybody else in danger. And so like that, it lends more tragedy to the things that she's doing. But I agree with you. I'm just saying like I feel like I understand what they are going for in neutering her a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The neutering of Ellie doesn't bother me. Like, to me, it makes the stakes higher. So when there actually is a clicker or guards, I actually am like worried. Like, oh, this is a tall order. Can they get out of it? That type of thing. Whereas in the game, it's like, oh no, there's 6 clickers and a bloater in that room. Like, don't worry, I got it. And it's like not a big deal.
I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just a 13-year-old boy, but
we need more zombies.
I would like the Mila Jovovich version of this a little more, I think. I don't know.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? The Paul W.S. Anderson adaptation.
You were saying words right now that are hurting my soul.
Just hear me out. And then we cut to Isaac. And
they're Costco boys.
What's that name? What? Yeah. What's that lady's name?
Park.
Elise.
Sergeant Park.
Elise. Okay. Thank you.
Park, yeah.
Sorry, the park was so far from Elise, which is what my brain was trying to find that I like panicked.
That look you gave me was pure panic.
I thought this was a Gillian Yeller situation again. No. Yeah. Elise / Park walks in and reports to Isaac that the storm is a convergence zone. This is the scene that I think if you're not a gamer, and even if you're only played it once like me, you're just like, huh? Because she comes in, she's like, the storm is a convergence zone. The officers are on board. I don't know about the rank and file. And I'm like, on board with what? Yeah. And then, which I guess we'll find out in 2 years. And no word on Abby since yesterday. Still haven't found Owen either. Mel's missing now too. And
whole squad goes missing on today of all days.
Today of all, I'm Jeffrey Wright. I'm the Watcher.
Something's happening today, but I'm not going to tell you.
Today of all days.
I bet
Christmas.
I bet you want to hear me read you the yellow pages.
I do.
I'm not going to do it.
And I love this exchange though, because he's like, Abby, damn it. And she's like, you in love with her or something? Look, old men are pretty weird all the time. It's not like you'd be the first. He's like, no. And like, he's normally like this iron shod leader, but that is so icky and insulting. He's like, hold on. Take a seat. Whoa. Okay. Normally I'd burst something off and just be mysterious, but that is egregious.
She doesn't look like anything to me.
Listen, I'd torture people naked with pots and pans. But I'm not going to be a sexual predator. That's a bridge too far.
I'm not a pervert.
I once want to be known.
First off, she's 26. And this is the apocalypse. Second.
God damn it. I thought you were going to go with your apocalypse joke.
Nope.
The restraint on this man.
You could see that I thought about it. And in the context, it would have been maybe too weird.
Isaac wouldn't want that.
I'd like to see her apocalypse. There we go. That's it. I'm done. Yeah, I just thought that was hilarious. He was like, oh, have a seat. Oh, you know. But he tells her, and this is very similar to kind of, we don't know much about Abby yet, but I kind of felt similarly with the nerfing of Ellie in this instance, because he's like, look, there's a good chance by tomorrow you'll be dead, which is such a funny thing to say to somebody before you say you too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But hold on before you get mad.
And also me.
There's a better chance I'll be dead.
Yeah. And they're going to need a leader. All those motherfuckers out there, they call themselves wolves, but they're just sheep.
I love that line. Like, despite their badass name, they're very much sheep.
And they need a leader. And Abby was supposed to be the next leader, essentially. That's why he's so upset that Abby's missing.
At least like, fuck me, I guess.
Well, what's interesting about the way this is delivered is, we don't know much about Abby. We don't know anything about what they're doing the next day or whatever. And it seems like a silly thing to say, because what we have seen is not indicative of Abby being like this awesome leader or anything. And so I feel similarly about that as I do about Ellie feeling like she's capable to traipse across the country enacting revenge. And that is based on what evidence? You know what I mean? Other than that there are named characters in this show, it just seems like it's a small thing, but I was like,
I have a feeling that they're making a slight adjustment to Abby, because this is a show creation. The whole like Abby's going to be the next leader of the Wolves. I think what they're doing is because there was that big backlash because Caitlin Deaver's not, a tank like game Abby is.
Maybe she's got that tactician.
Yeah, because in the game, Abby is this tank that's like the best soldier, like Isaac's best scar killer, right?
Yeah.
And because they knew people weren't going to
Buy
that per se, they were like, well, let's pivot and make it because she's a good leader or a good tactician. And that's why Isaac likes her so much.
It also equates her to Jesse.
Yes, exactly.
As the future leader of Jackson's Hole.
She was supposed to be the next leader of Seattle's Hole. Now there's no one to plug up the hole.
I'll do it.
God damn it! How do you keep living? I wander coast to coast, lending my skills out to anyone who'll have me.
I'm the only thing that stands between the scars cutting through Seattle's hole like a hot knife through butter.
All you have to do is feed me soup. That's my payment. Soup.
They don't even have guns.
Because I don't have my teethers.
They tried to hang me up and cut my belly button. I wouldn't let them.
Joke's on them.
Yeah, feel my love, motherfuckers. Woo! I don't have any bullets.
Prophet D's nuts.
Yeah. Sniper Tone's got zingers.
Yeah, he does. For days.
Get the Sniper Tone shirt at the merch store, by the way.
Ooh, good plug-in.
If you understood the last 5 minutes, you might want this shirt. If not, you're probably not listening anymore. Yeah. And then Elise is like upset by this. She's like, well, apparently she wasn't supposed to be the next leader because she's not here. Mic drop. And I'm not going to die. You are, old man, you creepy pervert.
And it's kind of...
She's still upset she lost her son.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it's kind of fucked up. It's like, we got a bunch of mayonnaise and we can they can all die. I don't give a shit about them.
Like your kid.
Your kid, yeah.
Had a bunch of those.
I want to say Craig. Was that his name? Sorry about your loss, by the way, but like, fuck him. We need Abby.
Yeah. I need Abby in frying pans. That's all I need.
Bouvier.
I can saute an onion faster than you can blink.
There it is.
Not even burnt. It's just seared properly.
When you have Mavier, you use Mavier.
He looks at the camera. Go to mavierpans.com. Use code Isaac to get 30% off.
I just want him to have like a bunch of fucking cooking related zingers. You know, flambe this bitch.
See what I'm saying?
We're gonna heat up the Scar Village like a sous vide.
Now you just sound like Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder. And I can't.
I'm a lead farmer, motherfucker.
This is the Paul W.S. Anderson version that I crave. Yeah, Tommy is not at the rendezvous point, which was a bookstore, correct?
Correct.
And on the wall, you can see everything's got a moral if you can find it, which is really funny. Okay, Neil, I didn't miss it.
Are you watching?
Yeah. And then there's a read to baby section, and Ellie's looking for baby books, and she finds one in particular. Mm-hmm. That's pretty funny.
That's the monster at the end of this book.
Interesting.
Grover.
Wonder who the monster is.
Don't turn the page. There's a monster at the end of this book.
Is that one of your favorite books of all time? It's a clicker.
So I actually had never seen it before. Erica, actually, it is one of Erica's favorite books. Like she had this book as a kid.
Nice.
And she was geeking out when she picked it up. And she was telling me all about it, and it sounds adorable, and it's Grover, and Grover's awesome.
And very thematically appropriate.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. Did anybody want a peanut?
Near. Far. That's the best Grover skit.
Yeah. And they're reading that book, and he tries to like reach Ellie in this moment. He's like, I do love Dina, but not the way that you love her. No, he just acknowledges like, I see the connection you guys have. I'm not an asshole. But he was very serious about like raising his kid immediately, you know, but he's like, but I get it. You guys have a level that I can't reach.
I had that once.
And then he tells this story about this drifter on her way to Mexico that he fell in love with.
Painter.
Yeah, I love that though. He's like, Ellie's like, oh, was she any good? No, they were awful. I bought 4 of them. And he talks in a really eloquent way, I think, about that indescribable feeling you get when you're falling for someone and then most importantly, you realize they're falling back, right? That is like the best.
Yeah.
You know? That just like first initial when they circle yes. You know?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's happening.
And he talks about how they wanted them to go to Mexico with him. They wanted him to go to Mexico with them. And he said no, because Jackson needed him. And then this is where Ellie starts to roll her eyes because she realizes there's a moral at the end of this story that's for her. And because you're so fucking cool and you're such a good person. And he's like, yeah, it's about the community.
St. Jesse of Wyoming.
But then on the radio, they hear the WLF peeps are under fire in South Lake Marina. It's a sniper, not a scar.
They don't do that.
Which Jesse realizes must be Tommy.
Tommy has a rifle
With a scope.
Oh my goodness.
It's Sniper Town.
So they climb up to the top of this.
Come get this, WLF motherfuckers. I work for the Scars now. They gave me the soup.
They got better soup.
They've got the good stuff.
Come get some.
Here's an open invitation for any jabroni who wants to test their luck at the marina.
I can't believe that he said it was a sniper and my brain didn't go there. I learned my lesson. So they climb up to the top of the bookstore to look for Tommy and see what's going on over there. And she sees this Ferris wheel next to an aquarium. And she's like, wheel, whale.
Those two things.
That's where Abby is. And she wants to go get Abby, not save Tommy, which is wild to Jesse, right? It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's Tommy. It might not be Tommy. Could be Sniper Tony.
It could be Sniper Tone.
We don't know.
I've heard legends of Sniper Tone's a myth.
She's like, if 3 other people had voted with you, you'd be here with me anyway doing this. And Jesse reveals he did not vote for her to go on her revenge mission.
He circled no.
No.
Why'd you vote no? And he's like, everything you do for you. It's all about the community. I've been telling you this whole episode and you're not listening. Mm-hmm. And Ellie says, my community was beaten to death in front of me.
Fuck the community.
It was Joel, for anybody who didn't pick that up.
Yeah.
And then he tells her, and you saw the shit about community. And this is when she hits him with you let a kid die because he wasn't part of your community, which is a fair point. And then Jesse just leaves her there.
I really hope you make it.
I'm going to go get Tom. That's what I call him because he's my friend. Mm-hmm. And he leaves. Dina's, then we get like a little bit of not a montage, but it's a little bit of a touch and base thing. Dina's just chilling in the theater. Isaac's getting he's like fading up. I'm like, I'm going to look dope for this.
If I'm going to war, I'm going to look really great.
I'm not saying I'm into Abby, but I do want to look nice when I finally find her.
Hello.
Because he's nervous.
It's me, Isaac.
It's me, Isaac. I've got a no for you. Circle yes or no. Also, I've been making you dinner. It's with the same pots I used to torture people. Or pans.
They really are the best. Ellie's out there trying to find a boat to the Ferris wheel. And then she sees a couple WLF guards. She's gonna take them out with her 9mm, but then there's like a whole shitload of boats.
Mm-hmm. All turning on their lights.
Luckily, turned on their lights at that moment, or she would have been in trouble.
This series of shots on the dock and like stormy Seattle look really cool.
Yeah,
very neat look.
Yeah, most of the zombie budget was blown on this water scene, probably.
Yeah,
the waves and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So she lets them kind of head out doing whatever the fuck they're doing, and then she finds a boat with some gas in it. Blum, 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 blum. And I thought to myself, this is like overthinking it, but that's how I have fun. I don't know that I know how to drive a boat like this, and I don't know how Ellie does. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You just started, I guess, but then what? Is there like a little trigger? I don't know. I've seen movies, I've seen a lot of motorboats in movies.
I've never piloted those boats.
Exactly.
I've jumped from one to the other filming stuff.
Left goes right goes left.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, I guess she doesn't know how to drive it too well. She does crash.
So there is a propeller button or handle that you...
Oh, it's like a motorcycle. You twist it maybe?
So you just because you turn on the motor doesn't mean you just start scooting.
Sure.
Right? You have to control it. But yeah, you point one way to go the other way.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
But yeah, I had the same thought. Like, how the fuck does she know how that works? She should be like, engine? Is that an engine?
Right. Well, maybe Joel. Joel's a pretty instructive guy.
Well, Ellie's always been the type that just is always moving forward. You know,
I guess they have a fuck ton of like generators and shit in Jackson. So
yeah,
in the game, I started a lot of them.
Yeah,
that was one of the most terrifying things in the game. Was like it was like I think it was stalkers. They would hide if you got the lights on, so you had to try to start the generator fast enough for them to like not attack you or something.
Something like that.
But yeah, it was really scary. I remember I was on the phone with somebody like, "Don't hang up." Please. I got to get this fucking thing turned on. Don't hang up. Yeah, there's a giant wave, and this is really symbolic. Like we talked about earlier, she gets tipped and ends up on a shore, which is like the little Seraphite island. She sees this little creepy Ollie kid.
This is another thing that one of a sipper. This is one of the things that also bother me. This is so trivial in the grand scheme of things, but like she gets hit with that big wave. She's nowhere near that island. But they're like, there's the boat popping up over the water. And then when she lands up on the island, the boat's already there and she washes up in the same exact spot. And I'm like, this is too contrived and convenient for me.
I guess it would make sense, though. If the current took her there, it would take the boat there.
Maybe.
Two objects.
I just think it's just kind of, I just don't like this scene overall. Like, I just don't like how it exists. It just halts the momentum of the episode just to have this unnecessary scene with the Seraphites, and they string her up, and then they hear the Horn of Gondor, and they're like, well, we can just let her go.
Yeah, leave her. The village.
Where?
And my notes are she heads back to the wheel, LOL. Like, where were we?
All right, now that dumb thing's out of the way.
She gets to the island. She climbs in. You know, she climbs up into the building, sees like their bunks and stuff. So I guess this is where Isaac and them were all stationed, and they just left there.
It's a shit spot because the skylight is broken. There's water damage.
Well, they weren't in that room. They were in the other room.
Were they? I thought it was the same room.
Well, it might be. Those are for the lower.
It's the same room.
Those are the lower rank wolves.
But I love that when she gets there, she pulls out Joel's gun. She's like, I'm going to use this one to get her.
Yeah, she's got to clean it first, put some fresh bullies in there, make sure they're not too wet. Don't want to misfire. Come all this way, right? And there's like little surgery tables and stuff, or like torture tables. I think this is the area where Isaac was torturing people. Who knows?
Well, he was doing that in the hotel.
Bloody bandages, so I feel like it's probably
bandages,
healing people.
Saw a bone saw.
I did see a bone saw.
Was bone saw ready?
I got you for 3 minutes. Bone saw's ready. Sorry. And then she sees Owen and Mel, and they're having a conversation about Abby. They're kind of arguing. They want to go get her or save her or find her. We don't know what's going on. And then they turn around and see Ellie. Owen says, "You got to be kidding me," because he recognizes her immediately. I love that she tries to use Joel's trick. You're going to point her out on the map, and then you're going to do it, and it better fucking match. Which, you know, when Joel does it, it's cooler, but she's practicing, right? She's not as an old hand at this. Such a good trick, though. I fucking loved every time Joel did that in the first season in the game. But Owen, unfortunately, goes for the gun. Yeah. And Ellie panics and fires. It
fucking Annie Oakley over here.
It blows through Owen's throat and then nicks the artery in Mel's throat. My notes are she kills Owen and Mel because it like reveals it slowly.
Yeah. I do like how they reveal it because she kind of looks back at the bullet hole that's in the drawer or whatever that's behind her. And then when she turns, you see the blood start trickling out. It's a cool
great
little
reveal.
Yeah.
And then she's pregnant.
Oh, no.
Oh, God, dude. This scene is so fucking gnarly. Knife. Do you have a knife? I have like 30 seconds. Get the fuck over here, please.
Oh,
yeah, cut it out.
Quick C-section, transverse, low transverse. What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, Ellie was going to try to help.
And then she's like, what am I going to do with this baby? Right? Like you start, and then she just, that moment where she just pulls the shirt down over the belly. Because it's like, what would I even do? I can't keep it alive. You know what I mean? Like it starts to sink in because Ellie does want to help initially. Deeper than you think. Now, the actress playing Mel is Ariella Barrera, which for some reason I didn't recognize in episode 2. But I love her. She's so good. She's in a movie. She's in a lot of movies, but there's one called How to Blow Up a Pipeline. So fucking good. Highly recommended. Yeah, this scene fucked me up, dude. This is wild. Is it out?
You're doing so good. You're doing so good.
She's not doing good.
Rough scene. I was really worried because I'm squeamish. And so when she hands the knife and is like, take it out,
she was gonna try?
I was like, no, please, don't do that. I don't want to watch. No.
I mean, dude, C-sections are gnarly.
I know.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Low transverse.
And then just to do one on the floor of the aquarium can't be very hygienic.
Tommy and Jesse find Ellie and pick her up. They see the pregnant lady and all that shit. They're, oh shit.
Oh my God. Everyone in this scene is so great. Bella Ramsey being so distraught with what has happened.
So shell shocked.
And then Gabriel Luna coming in, seeing everything, but like being just going into total dad mode or cool uncle mode. Like, hey, come here. Oh, fuck. All right, let's go. Oh, shit. And then finally Jesse comes in like, ooh, awkward turtle.
Yeah, and that's kind of like, you know, we know Ellie's background. Her mother was bitten while she was giving birth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if she'd have got that baby out, that baby would have been immune to bullets.
Science suggests.
Missed opportunity there.
And then, you know, she raises that baby and then she has to kill a bunch of people trying to solve the cure for bullets. Mm-hmm. Will the circle be unbroken?
Tommy's got a plan for leaving the next day. They're going to head back to Jackson. He tries to make Ellie feel better about it, you know, her killing those people. You know, they were part of it too, you know?
They made their choice.
If that baby didn't want to die, I wouldn't have been there. I didn't hear that baby speaking up for Joel.
Joel was part of it. That baby also took a swing at Joel.
Yep.
You told me when you're on the ground, you heard a little, another person going, get him.
He's doing his best to make her feel better. And so she killed Nora, Mel, and Owen. 3 of the people that were there's way more people in the game, but how many people were at the event in the show?
Well,
5?
right now there's just Manny and Abby left.
Right. And she said, but Abby gets to live. You reckon you can make peace with that? You know, like he's want to make sure she's not going to run off again for revenge on the way home or at some point later. And what's, you know, it's part of the tragedy is that at multiple junctures, this was over. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This was over before Abby decided to get revenge and she kicked it back up. Mm-hmm. This was over when they let Ellie live and Ellie decided to take her revenge. This was over briefly, I think, because I wasn't on this episode with you guys, before Nora said some heinous shit and ran, right? Like Ellie was like crying and shit. And then Nora was like, because Joel's a bitch. And then ran and like, you know, like at that moment, Ellie was like softening, you know?
Hey.
Yeah. And
it was also over when they got overwhelmed and Jesse showed up and saved them and was like, oh, no, you were going to die. You were both about to die.
Before she even found Nora.
Yeah.
It's true. So there's been so many forks in the road. And here's another one where Ellie's going to pack it up and then Abby shows up. They hear a clattering because Tommy's going to go pack the duffels. And
I gotta go back to Duffels. Well, we get that one last conversation with Jesse and Ellie about
speak on it.
It's really great because she's like, "Oh, you saved me because you're a good fucking person." He's like, "Yeah, but also it occurred to me that if I was out there alone and afraid, you would burn the whole world to come save me."
I would.
You're right. I would. And
that's what I mean, though. And I'm sorry, but like, isn't it more? Doesn't that feel better if you feel like Ellie's capable of that?
Yeah.
I still think Ellie would burn the world to save her friends. I have not been.
She would burn half a house and get beat up in the show.
No.
Some guy would run out. What are you doing in my goddamn house?
Get off my property.
And then Jesse'd have to save her. Yeah.
I'm not there yet. I still think Ellie would. I do miss. So in the game, Jesse has a turn of phrase that he always says that I don't think he says in the show at all. And it's
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yeah, and he pew pew. No, he always says, my friend's problems are my problems. Like that's his like catchphrase in the game. And I don't think they have had him say it at all in the show, which is.
I don't feel like they're gonna at this point.
You just hear him like choking on his butt.
Oh my God. Yeah, so they hear Tommy struggling, some clattering out there, and they run in, and it's exactly like it is in the game. As soon as Jesse gets his head through the door, it gets popped with a bullet.
He's dead.
And he collapses.
The most moral character in the show.
Boom.
Everybody in this fucking show's an eagle eye. I swear to God. Like, he had his head through that door for fucking 0.2 seconds. And I don't know what she was doing, but she
probably had her gun trained at the door.
I wish they would have shown Abby. Oh, fuck yeah. I didn't mean to hit him.
Nice. Like Sean William Scott from Old School. Yeah, so Jesse's fucking dead.
And it's Abby. She's got Tommy at gunpoint.
And she's got her gun trained on Tommy and then on Ellie. And she recognizes her. I let you live and you wasted it. And then gunshot cut to black. We don't know what happened there.
I'm the one you want. Let him go. Yeah.
And then we cut back in time. Manny wakes up Abby and says Isaac wants to talk. They've got a whole big thing going on in like a football field, like a whole civilization army camp thing with greenhouses.
Dude, I love the WLF football field camp. It's one of my favorite parts in the game because like it's just, yeah, what a neat way. Like, where are we going to survive? Let's go in the football field. We can farm on the field.
Unlimited cotton candy.
So much cotton candy. The beer's expensive.
Yeah.
But
I guess that's Lumen Field, like Seahawks Stadium.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Must be. And then it says Seattle Day 1, and that's the end of the fucking episode.
Yeah.
I don't know why I censored myself.
That was cute.
I do wonder, before we get to our Firefly moments, what did you guys think of the game change? They changed the game a little bit in the dynamic of how she kills Mel, because in the game, Mel attacks her with a knife.
Right.
And it's more of an overt, I was defending myself. She just happened to be pregnant. And in the show, it's more of an oopsie.
It's a straight up accident.
It's a straight up oopsie.
Whereas it was like, I wouldn't have killed you if I knew you were pregnant. I probably would just beat you up.
And that's a huge change.
It is a huge change.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I think that in the game, like, they focus more on showing the turn of Ellie into a monster, whereas in the show they are making it more of the trail of blood that she leaves behind in her wake. And so I think that I think it's more effective. I was reading reactions last night and reviews, and people were saying that they didn't like the change because it took away from the effect of how far she's willing to go. But I think that it is more impactful to show the consequences of the choices that she makes.
Steve?
That's for me.
I think they're both equally good for different reasons. Because in the game, yeah, it's much more brutal, but you still she realizes she's pregnant after she kills her, and she freaks out at that point and is upset. Whereas they're making the connection more overt between what Ellie and Dina's future of maybe having a baby. Dina's pregnant. Obviously, that's in the text of the game as well. But this was much more like, get the baby out of me, please. And the only thing I'm a little, I don't know if I dislike it or if it's just not that big of a deal, is like Owen's just completely off the board in that scene. Like as soon as he's shot, he falls off camera and he's just not in that scene anymore. Whereas Owen dies slowly in the game, and he's the one that reveals that Mel's pregnant because he's bleeding out and he goes, she's pregnant. And then that's when Ellie turns and realizes it. And it's like a big, oh no, because it's a shock to her at that point that she's pregnant. But I think this is just as effective, if not more, at least when you go from the stance of Ellie feeling bad about what she's doing. The only thing, this is the one thing that I was curious about. So this scene in the game is the reason why Abby finds them in the theater, because she does the map game and they leave the map and Abby finds the map, and that's how she realizes they're in the theater. I couldn't see if Ellie left the map in this scene in the show.
Well, in the show, it doesn't make any sense because the map is Owen and Mel's map. Mm-hmm. And so it wouldn't even.
Oh, that's right.
It wouldn't reveal her location anyway.
Yeah. So I was wondering, like, how did Abby find them in the theater? I guess she just
follows them, is my guess.
Okay.
And then probably stakes it out for a little while, because that's the only way that they're going to be able to do that.
We'll have to find out.
When we get from her perspective, I bet she'll see Tommy and them leaving, go in and check the bodies, and then just track them.
Yeah, we'll have to find out next season. What did you think of the scene, though? You asked the question.
No, I kind of agree with both of you in the sense that like it was effective both ways, but I do think it's kind of part and parcel, like the different way they're trying to do it, and the way that's maybe less satisfying is it is a little bit less.
It's not as
agency in Ellie's part, right? Because she's capable of less, and so she, by definition, has less agency, and she's just a petulant child making these decisions. I'm not even trying to be mean or joking. Like that's the way that it comes off, I think. And I think that that's why so many people that like think Ellie's a badass hate the show. And they're kind of juvenile in that sense anyway. Like they didn't even care about the themes of this show. They just liked wrecking houses Ellie because it's a game, right? But they also do have like an argument there. Like it is kind of off-putting to have this like, and unfortunate because Bella got so much shit initially anyway. And now through no fault of their own, they've made these changes to this character at its core that are going to make people less warm to this iteration of this character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of unfortunate for Bella that they've made this choice.
Yeah, Andy and I were talking, like people were complaining about like Bella's the worst casting ever because they were doing this in this particular scene. And it's like, no, that's a writing. If you have an issue with the scene, that's valid, but that's a writing issue. Bella's doing a great job with that material.
Bella's a phenomenal actor, and I love so much of what they do with Ellie, but it's from a writing perspective. I do disagree with this reduction of agency. And you know, because she's sitting there in that scene, she's just, her hands shaking. She didn't make a choice. That's what's so cool about the game is Ellie makes a choice that she may or may not then regret. This Ellie is just in over her head and panics and then makes a mess of things like a child would. Do you know what I mean? And like she panicked when Owen grabbed the gun, right?
I don't know if that's.
And she's like,
I don't know if that's
she's
a panic.
surprised.
That's a guy's trying to shoot her.
Yeah, but like you can see the surprise on her face. Like, look what you made me do. You know what I mean?
I think that at least Owen's death plays out fairly similarly. They struggle over a gun and she shoots him in the struggle, right?
She does.
Yeah. So as far as like the agency of the decision
and
to
then
kill
Mel
Owen,
runs at her with a knife and they wrestle and she gets her in the throat. And then Owen's like, she's pregnant.
I will also say that choosing to have Mel die the way that she does also like lends more to the tragedy of it because immediately Mel goes into nurse mode and, hey, transverse abdominis, we're going to do a C-section right now. I know what we need to do. So like we learn a hell of a lot about her in that 10 seconds before she dies. And I think that lends more to the tragedy of her death and to question whether or not Ellie is doing a horrible thing, you know, which of course she's doing a horrible thing. She just killed a pregnant woman, but doing a horrible thing by, you know, murdering regardless of who the people are. Is she being a Joel right now? She's also killing doctors or nurses or whatever.
Yeah, I don't mean to harp on this. I just think I'm trying to reconcile like the really vitriolic fan reaction to this show and my own like unease while watching it, and try to like, that sounds so condescending, but like, I think I can speak to what they're upset about in a way that might be more helpful than the way that they're able to articulate it, which is the woke of us. You know what I mean? But yeah, I do think that it just changes the story so much in a way that the showrunners aren't acknowledging in a negative way. To have Ellie sneaks out of Jackson. She travels the country. She kills 92 people. You know what I mean? Wow, that's upsetting. Was that worth all that? And her friends do follow her and stuff and get themselves in danger because she's selfish and was thoughtless about that act. Is categorically different than, well, then I'm going, and she can't actually do anything without their help. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know.
I guess
it's different.
I'm just not. I'm not at the place personally where I think she's incapable. Like I don't think she's being infantilized. I think they're taking aspects of her character and spreading them out against amongst a cast of characters, because this is a TV show. So the other characters need to be able to do shit to be interesting characters. So like Dina is the best example of this for the season, because Dina in the game is just like, I'm here, I love you, but I'm gonna hang back for a while.
because
where in this they made Dina like, hey, let's fucking get him, girl.
let me know if you need some exposition or a tutorial on something.
I'm here. And they do that, and I understand that you got to kind of chip away a little bit at like Ellie's game version to insert into other characters so it levels the playing field, because in the game you're just Ellie doing the thing and you're the special Wonder Boy or special Wonder Girl. Yeah. And you're the chosen one that gets to do all the cool things. Well, now that's not an interesting TV show, right? So you have to spread that out. And I think they've done a pretty good job of doing that. But I understand that it does make Ellie, at least compared to the game version, less capable in a way. But like, I still think the spirit of the character is still true and there. And Ellie will wreck shop and fuck you up and is capable of doing that. We're just seeing more of I think they're slow building it a little bit more. I think maybe they're like cooking a little bit, like she's getting there, and not she's just automatically there. Because they've also fundamentally changed the emotion of the series by changing the timeline. Whereas in the game, it's like Joel dies and then a week later than Seattle, and she's fucking angry. Yeah. And wants to kill everybody. In this, it's like, oh, we had 3 months of going to therapy with Gail and rebuilding the thing. So the anger isn't 100% there. So I think they've got to cook it back up in a believable way, I think.
And also the whole falling in love with Dina thing happened after Joel's death instead of before.
Yeah.
In the show, right? So that changes like her happiness level. You know, just got laid. So it's like, I'm not that mad.
High five.
I just had sex and ate nachos, Jesse. What's up?
My life.
Okay, that brings us to our favorite moments. But before we do that, one more quick break to hear from one of our sponsors.
Hey there, Stream Fiend family. As we step into May, the month of milestones, graduations, and fresh starts, we're feeling extra grateful for the folks who help us keep this show rolling strong. We want to take a moment to celebrate every single person who supports streaming things, but we really want to celebrate these real MVPs, our super patrons. These are the amazing supporters who pledge $25 or more each month, and their generosity powers everything we do. While people are tossing their caps in the air or getting ready for summer adventures, we're tipping our caps to these legends. So thank you to Sun-Loving Mortal, Xander Barbarian, Daniel Pack, Nice Guy Eddie, Tulun, Jordan Garvin, Alba Stinkpot, Haley, Maddlestat, Susie Callahan, Anthony Corona, Jim E, Lady Trashley, Sean Myers, Just Liz Calabria, Mike from New Hampshire, Brett X, E Scramo, Lil Tickler, Svento7, Jay Scramo, Bluff Pum, AK Ashley Ray, Adam Busby, Upside Down Canuck, Big Butthorn, Jer Latanovich, Kaylee Sampson, Rabbit Dog in a Barbie Car, Elbander, Charlie Friday, Alexis Adler, Peaches, Emmy, Haley B, Jill Velez, Trisha Bueller, Alex G, Suzanne Rode, Jadinklage Morgoon, Kalisha Reeves, Paula Garcia, That Brenda, Aaron Armstrong, Seriously Black 82, Ashley Powers, Casey McCain, and Enza. Thank you all so much for supporting Streaming Things, but the celebration is just getting started. Let's get back to the show.
And we're back with our Firefly moments, our top 3 favorite moments of the season 2 finale. Andy, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is the scene where they go up to the roof of the bookstore and Ellie spots the Ferris wheel and the whale. I think that it is fun to use the whale as like the Moby Dick reference of like the big goal, the thing that's eluding her that she needs to get to.
Abby's my white whale.
I love the way that Ellie gets this immediate tunnel vision and forgets all about the fact that they're trying to find Tommy and help him because he's got people pinned down, but there's reinforcements on the way. And immediately she says, oh, we need a boat. Let's fucking go. And Jesse's like, wait, what? No, we need to go help Tommy. She's like, we don't even know if that is Tommy. She's fucking grasping for straws.
Who even is Tommy?
Right.
I don't know.
How much do we really know about Tommy?
Can we trust Tommy?
I think it's a really impactful scene. And then we get the whole talk about the community and how, Bella's portrayal of the my community was beaten to death in front of me while I had to watch. The portrayal there, they do incredible work. And I love, Jesse's reaction to it, and just, I really hope you get there, but I need to do the thing. I need to help our people. So I'm going to do that. I love the portrayal of Ellie's loss, losing sight of reality in that moment. I think speaks to the really effective way that they're portraying the character.
Nice. My number 3 moment is the Mel, Owen, Ellie scene. Really well done, especially the Mel part of it. It's kind of like the beginning part of it when Owen's like, "Oh, don't worry, like don't shoot." I'm just like, that guy's gonna fucking reach for a gun, like just shoot him. But when we get that turn of she accidentally shot Mel and cut it out, and then Tommy and Jesse show up, like just the weight of that action does really hit and land. And I was on the edge of my seat, like, "Oh, is she actually gonna cut that baby out? Holy shit, this is wild." Because that doesn't happen in the game.
No. What if she just looked at Mel and was like, "I'm going to be a dad"? What is fucking wrong with you? My number 3 is the moment between Dina and Ellie when she's like cleaning her back wounds, and then she has to tell her about Joel.
Oh, good choice.
And we see Dina processing that new info. Yeah, she's being asked to swallow this huge pill, and she's already been on this mission. She's been ride or die for her partner at this point, and now she's withheld this huge info from her. And honestly, she processes it pretty well, pretty loyally, I think, But you can see, like in Ellie's, like, I need to tell you this now because I've done a torture, and you're being so supportive of my torture. And I think you need all the facts. And it's just, I know that's hard. I've never done a torture, but it is hard to like come clean about something that big, right? And not know how the other person's going to react. Mm-hmm. And maybe I'll lose you forever, but it's important that in order for us to go forward, I need you to have this info to truly love all of me. Right. It's big. It's huge. That's my number 3.
That's my number 2. I particularly like the writing here. I made her talk in the shell-shocked voice, and I thought it would be harder, and it wasn't. I just had to keep hurting her. I think that's fantastic performances. I think that it's phenomenal writing, and it colors, I think, everything that comes after, because Ellie is weighed down by the things that she just did, and did some gnarly shit. A lot of it presumably happened off camera, right? And but still wants to move forward with everything. And I think that that's haunting and really, really effective.
Nice. My number 2 is your number 3, the fuck the community scene with Jesse and Ellie overlooking the whale wheel and Tommy sniping. I'll do you one better, Andy. Why is Tommy? No, it's just great. I really like the framing of this relationship. In fact, like it's worth saying that this episode really is great in the way that it gives a lot more context to Jesse's character. Like, Jesse's in the game. He's awesome. We spend time with him. But I feel like this episode really drills into who he is, like what his worldview is, which is something we don't get in the game. And I find that really fascinating and true to the character. This, Captain America-esque Boy Scout, truth and justice in the American way. And
he's going to be okay, right?
Oh, yeah, he's going to be fine, right? In this world where moral people always get to survive. And I like his point of view, where this is a tricky conversation where he's saying, like, we got to go help Tommy. Like, I helped the community. I came to save you. And then she hits him with, no, you let a kid die because they're not a part of the community. And this, my community versus your community mindset is what's going on with the Seraphites literally outside. They can hear the fights going on out there. And I think it's a good metaphor. And again, Ellie's not the best messenger for this at the moment. And it's kind of interesting that she's like, we could have saved that boy. And then a few minutes later, she's almost strung up by the same people. Like, no, we're cool. I was going to save one of you, but I didn't. It's kind of funny, but I think the message is really cool and a very interesting way to approach this story. I really like that. This is new-ish for the story, and I think it fits and it works and it's really cool. And I like what it means for the characters going forward.
I just wish that he had said, I let a kid die because there were 6 of them and 2 of us.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't because he wasn't part of the community. It's because we were outnumbered and we were probably going to die if we tried to do something.
And then Ellie just goes, shut up. Nuh-uh.
This isn't a video game, Ellie.
It's not?
What's your number 1, bud?
My number 3?
Or
2.
My number 2.
Skip your number 2. What's your number 1?
What's your number 1? Fuck your number 2.
None of us know what number it is. My number 2 is Jesse and Ellie in the theater that culminates in Jesse's getting his brains blown out. That conversation that they get to have and his acknowledgement. It's kind of this. Ellie has a bad history of like reconciling with her loved ones right before they die.
Right.
Or like you getting on the path to reconciliation. Just need a couple more days and we'll be tight again.
If you ever have a fight with Ellie and she tries
just stay mad.
Just be like, no, get over there.
Yeah, it's a great conversation. And he kind of acknowledges that, hey, I do understand what you're about. And it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It's, kind of thing. Like, I know you would burn the world to get me. And that's actually a cool quality. Just sucks for everybody around you,
Yeah.
And then boom, so it's just, it's tough. It's tough. That's my number 2. Andy, your number 1.
My number 1 is the scene with Owen and Mel, and Ellie tries to do a C-section. My notes just say, holy fuck. Like, it was, that shit was fucking horrifying. Super effective way to show the consequences, the strays that people catch when you lose sight and focus on your own vengeance. And I think that the performances here are unbelievable. I like the change from the source material because I think that it gave us more insight into who the people are because they're people with names and faces but without story in general when you are doing your vengeance in the game. And I think any opportunity to humanize them a little bit goes a long way to further color the things that come later. But yeah, that scene had me cringing so hard. It was great work.
My number 1 moment, I'm just going to nerd out a second. This might be some people's least favorite moment, but I, as a huge fan of the game.
When the boat crashes.
Oh yeah, so great. That wave. As a huge fan of the game and actually someone who really, really likes the character of Abby, I got super hyped at the very end when Abby shows up and does the I let you live and you wasted it. Just to see Caitlin Dever in the jacket as Abby again, because it's been like 5 episodes really since we've seen Abby, and to finally have that there. And yeah, it ends on such a cliffhanger and it is unfortunate, but as someone who knows where the story is going and just has an appreciation for that character, I was just happy to see her again and just how cool she looks in the jacket and was like, you wasted it. Just that line delivery. I'm like, Abby's back. Let's see how it goes. Can't wait for 16 months from now when the next season comes out. It's going to be dope.
That's a great moment. I do love Caitlin Dever. But my number 1 is Andy's number 1. The scene with Mel and Owen. I think Ariella Barrera is so incredible. And it'll haunt me forever. Mm-hmm. Done such a good job. She's not doing a good job.
She's not doing anything.
I'm really not.
I appreciate the support, but
I'm not.
Thank
doing
you.
Great. She's like cutting Owen's belly. Wait,
what are we doing?
Where is it? Yeah, it was terrifying. It was an upsetting part of my evening, especially after we just watched Terrible Things Happen to Children episode of Game of Thrones and Hell or High Water, and I'm just down in the dumps right now.
This show is not good for our mental health.
Yeah, so that's my number one crazy moment, which brings us to our bullets and pills.
Pills, baby.
Kind of extra deep cut references to the game and things like that is what this section is for. Andy, did you get anything?
Not really, honestly. I mean, we also use it to shout out like things from the past that pop up. I saw some Slipknot graffiti on a wall.
Yeah, you
that
did.
Was fun. And I saw Kentucky Coffee advertisement. That's bourbon.
That's where we're from.
Yeah. Steve, what'd you get? Actual stuff, please.
I have a ton of stuff. Do you have anything, Kit?
Nope.
Okay. The bracelet that Dina has and hands to Ellie is a Hamza bracelet. A Hamza bracelet. Have you seen these? It looks like a hand, and there's like the evil eye is in it. I actually am wearing Erica's bracelet that has the evil eye on it. It's like a blue eye.
The Eye of Mordor?
The Eye of Mordor. So the evil eye is a supernatural belief in a curse that is brought on by a malevolent glare, usually from envy, and the hand, particularly if the bracelet is put on the right hand, which is where she puts it on Ellie, is a sign of protection that also represents blessing, power, and strength, and is seen as seen to deflect the evil eye. So it deflects that evil eye. And this is something, the Hamza bracelet is called the Hand of Fatima, the Hand of Maryam. Fatima is the daughter of Muhammad. So if you're in a lot of Muslim cultures, it's called the Hand of Fatima. If you're in Jewish cultures, it's the Hand of Maryam. Maryam is Moses' sister. And I think in this instance, it is the Hand of Maryam because at least in the game, Dina is Jewish. And I don't know if they've said that in the show that's the fact. But in the game, at a certain point, Ellie and Dina go into a synagogue, and you learn a little bit about Dina's faith and how her sister used to read her the Torah, and they would do all this stuff for Passover and everything. So I just thought, and she's had it the whole show, but I didn't honestly really like see it until this episode. And it's cool. Like if you look at it, it looks like she probably got it from Jackson Hole because the eye looks like it's made of like a turquoise, which would be like a Wyoming sort of thing that you probably make out of. I don't know, kind of a neat little touch that I thought was in there. In the bookstore, Kit sort of called it out. What was that? Like everything has got a moral only if you find it quote that's on the wall.
Yeah. Something like everything's got a moral if you can find it.
So that is a quote by the Duchess from the Alice Adventures in Wonderland. And it's another sort of symbolism going on because the Duchess is a character that is known for extreme affection and fierce anger. So you see the Duchess in the mural as well. Everything's got a moral if only you can find it. The Duchess's constant attempt to find morals in everything she says and does, even when the morals are nonsensical, represent the often absurd and disconnected nature of adult reasoning and authority. It's a good symbol to represent the WLFs and the Seraphites as they twist the ideas of their original leaders to make sense of the violence and the evils they commit. And I think that's obviously there's a monster at the end of the story is a pretty on the nose symbolism thing happening there in that scene. But even in the background, you've got that. And there's another layer to that Easter egg. In the game, Jesse and Ellie go to a bookstore, not to meet Tommy, but they just happen to walk through it. And the children's section of the bookstore is Alice in Wonderland themed. It's got the mushrooms and the chair that he sits in. But there's a funny little conversation between the two of them where Jesse says, it's kind of fucked up that the children's section has mushrooms in it. And I was like, I don't think mushrooms had the same meaning as they do now back then. It's just a fun little thing between the two characters. The baby books we found were I Love You Forever, We Sing, From Head to Toe, I Spy, Is Your Mama a Llama?
All great books.
All great books. There's a giraffe in the frame when they leave the bookstore.
Nice.
Call back to the first season. When we cut to Abby, she's reading a book called Thieves of the City by Ben Davidoff, which is funny because it's like a weird twist on the actual book City of Thieves by David Benioff, which Neil Druckmann credits that book as a major influence in Last of Us Part 2. David Benioff, of course, also is well known for being one of the showrunners of Game of Thrones.
I bet that book ends shitty.
Got him.
Nobody's made that joke.
But another Easter egg, the main character of that book shares the name of a character that may or may not appear in the story of The Last of Us. So I won't say more on that. Yeah, Gary. Good old Gary Busey. The next
Talk about
couple,
buttered sausage.
the next couple I have, they could be considered very light spoilers. I'm just going to point a noun out basically, and just, that's a thing. I'm not going to tell you what it is or how it appears, but in one of the shots, Jesse and Ellie are walking on the street, and you see in the background what looks like a red crane that has toppled over and is sort of fallen over the top of multiple buildings. Some people may call that a sky bridge. Will that come up? Who knows? When Abby shows up at the end and she's got everyone by gunpoint, she kills Jesse. If you look close enough, her neck is bruised. What's that about? Maybe we'll find out later. I don't know. I just like the small touch they threw in there. And I think that's pretty much everything I've got so far.
Good shit, Steven.
Awesome pools. That leaves us with nothing but to nominate our Outbreak performance, our favorite performance of the finale. Andy, who you got?
I'm going to give it to the actress that plays Mel, Ariella Barrere.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get much from, she was only in the one scene and fucking stole the show. It was so haunting. Get the fuck over here, please. Do you have a knife? You have a knife? Please, please, please. Come here. I have like 30 seconds. The panic in her voice, the I don't know, comforting way that she's trying to say, look, I know what we need to do deeper than you think. And as the life is leaving her, you're doing good. You're doing so good. Is it out? Is it out? Just fucking haunting. Like, that is a scene that is going to stick with me forever. And it was 100% her work and the writing. But yeah, unbelievable.
Great choice.
Steve.
I'm just gonna give mine to Bella again. I think Bella's just continually crushing every episode. I mean, the scene with them and Jesse talking about community, the Mel scene. I think Bella just continues to be this just incredible force on the show, and I just want to give them all the flowers at every chance I can, because I think Bella is great as Ellie.
Two wonderful choices. I think I'm gonna throw him a bone to young Mazzino.
Great choice.
As Jesse. We hardly knew ye. Great work in this episode. Very concerned. Future community leader, future father, current friend. He's got a lot of hats he's trying to wear, and I think you can see the wear and tear that toll is taking on him, and he's trying to do the right thing as best he can, and then it doesn't work out for him, for my boy. Mm-hmm. Shout out young Mazzino. Great performance.
Hell yeah. Great choice.
Which brings us to the end of our Last of Us Season 2 coverage. Again, if you have any questions, like for a potential mailbag episode, we may not have time. We might not get enough good emails. Who knows? But not good ones, but you know what I mean? It might just be a bunch of dog shit you guys write, and then we can't really work with that. But email the show at streamingthingspod@gmail.com. And so we may or may not even have a main feed episode next week, but over on the Patreon, you will hear Princess Bride, Hell or High Water, and the Game of Thrones season 5 finale, for sure. And then we'll come back each week with, Ballerina and How to Train Your Dragon remake and F1 and all kinds of good stuff. Leading through July, some more big summer movies with Firefly coverage starting on the Patreon side. Mm-hmm. And then we'll be back in August with some episode by episode coverage. Unless, things could change. We could get a large outcry to cover fucking Wednesday season 2 or something, and we'll see what we can do. But that's the plan for now. Thank you so much for joining us on this Last of Us journey. We always appreciate you listening to our yapping.
Yeah.
But we gotta go return some videotapes. That's all the time we've got for right now. My name is Kit.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Streaming Things, streaming The Last of Us.
Happy streaming.